All right, it's great to be back. It's great to be here. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the program. It's Good Afternoon, Ghana. And today, of course, our attention is on national issues, but this time entertainment, football to be precise. Well, so we've had the list of the 26 finally by Otuado, our coach currently in charge of the Black Stars. There's been very interesting analysis that's followed his final list that's out already, and we'll be going into it pretty shortly. Those who agree, those who disagree, but even if you disagree, it is not a point of wrong or right, someone being wrong or someone being right. It's only a point of disagreement of players that have been called or players that have been dropped or players that have not been mentioned at all. So I know that Geoffrey Schnopp has been one of the most controversial ones. I think people are having quite some issues why he's not being called. But of course, the coach Otuado has worked with this gentleman before, and at this point in time, he feels he doesn't need him. I think we have to give him that credit and allow him to work in his space. But we'll get into all that later on and do some analysis on these issues that are coming up as far as our final 26 is being called up into the Black Stars in the World Cup 2022. Nana Kweku will help me discuss this issue after the break. International football analyst. Also, Phil John Korte, my colleague here on the sports desk, sports journalist. He will help us also in the analysis. And Collins Atapuku, broadcast journalist also with Sumpa FM, will also join in the discussion. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. You can also send your comments to the contacts that we'll share on our screen. So this is Good Afternoon, Ghana. Let me take a breather. We'll get into the issues shortly. Welcome back to Good Afternoon, Ghana. My colleague Phil John Korte just reminded me that there's another appearance fee hovering around the system. So there's a 200,000 Ghana cedis and there's a 100,000 Ghana cedis. Please don't confuse the two. I think this afternoon we're dealing with 100,000 Ghana cedis appearance fees. Okay.
$100,000
sorry,
appearance fee.
Sorry about that. Yes. So 100,000. Television is not good. Anyway, Phil, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good
Thank you.
afternoon
Thank
to
you very much. Thank you.
Right, and Nana Jimana as well. Welcome. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't see you. Since when is the last time we met?
Well, I was in the market.
Well, you went buying groceries?
We went to buy tomatoes and stuff.
Look at you asking me that question as if I don't do that.
You do?
Like at this point in time, you even have to shop against Christmas.
That's
Now,
interesting.
like shop now.
I'm a single parent family, you know.
So you went to the market to solve?
Of course.
And all the women were screaming, Nana, what are you buying? They were screaming that.
Yeah, they all do that.
That's interesting.
Every time.
But the Ministry of Agric is coming with an intervention. So
Well,
it's easy maybe to, drive past there and see if you can get it cheaper.
Oh, he's only got plantain. That's all he knows about. He doesn't know about any other food stuff.
I know.
Poor guy. Senility.
Anyway, all right, back to the topic. So is our final list that's out. Let's see if the final list, we can actually take a look at it on the screen. My producers can provide that. Okay, hey, can I see this? Yeah. Okay, so I think I can manage. Goalkeepers, we have Manaf there. We have Dunlap there. We have Lawrence there. That's Lawrence Ati-Ziki. Yeah. And then we have defenders there. Dennis Odoi, Tariq Lamte, Ali Seidu, Daniel Amate, Joseph Edu, Alexander Jiku. Okay, we have Mohamed Salisu. We have Abdul Rahman Papa and Gideon Mensah. And then also the midfielders. Okay, we have Andrew Ayew, we have Thomas Partey, Elisha Usu, Salis Abdul Samet, and then Mohamed Kudus, Daniel Kofitre. Strikers, Daniel Brenier Efriye, and then Kamal Soa, Ishaku Abdul Fatau, Usman Bukari, Inaki Williams, Antoine Samenyon, right? Okay, Jordan and you, and also Kamal Dean Sulemana, whose also name has come as some comparison analysis. I don't even know why people are doing that. But, well, I think let me take your opening remarks on it. I'll start with the journalist, Phil.
Well, finally, I'll tell the rest of the world that We're expecting it, and it came to pass. I mean, some of the names you knew very well. They were part of the team already. It was not new. The likes of Thomas Partey, the likes of the captain, and Dede Ayew and
I'm
his
sorry,
brother.
can I just have the names on my screen? Yeah, I think the one behind me will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We knew very well they were going to be part of the team. As to the new guys that we were expecting that were be part of the team was the problem. Then prior to today's announcement or Saturday, they had a problem with the goalkeeping department because Jojo Wallacott, who everybody thought was going to be our number one stopper, got injured and came in. And again, too, there was an issue whether a certain goalkeeper should be part of it until we find out it was Lawrence Atizigi and Dalan. So in all, I'm not surprised at all. The only surprising aspect has to be a certain gentleman that plays in Belgium, that is Pencil. He has done incredibly very, very well. And you and I know very well that, and I will tell you this, that the gentleman deserves to be part of this team. He's the only one that I'm not surprised in the team. But all in all, I think I'm cool with the team.
All right.
Yeah.
If you're rating, say, from 10 to 100, from 10 to 100%, what's the mark you give or you score Otuadu?
70% because of Joseph Pencil. He deserves to be in this team very well. Okay. And I don't know whether it's not football reason or not football reason is not in, but he knows the reason why he didn't pick him. But for where I'm sitting, the research we've done, what he's done to the rest of the world to see, I think Joseph Pencil should have been part of this team. That's the only thing I'm surprised about.
I think he's the one Kamaldeen is being compared to in terms of performance. All right, so 70%. So if Pencil was part of the team, you would have given like 80 or 90? 80,
and maybe, just maybe, maybe because of the injury that I'm worried about. But hey, in all, I think he could have been better. I would have marked him around 82, 85 if Pencil was a part of it. I cannot give you 100%, not even 90.
So let me come to the practical coach. So it's been analyzed that, he said that I use KPIs. Okay, and a lot of the times when we do analysis, sometimes we use the technical data available by the performance of the players. However, coaches also sometimes have a different approach to the selection of their players because they know what the players contributed. Somebody might be scoring 10 goals, but someone's contribution in terms of cover, in terms of defense, in terms of something might be more important to the coach than even the goals they actually are able to give. And so I don't know how, maybe your opinion, where you take it from.
Well, I don't know about that because if there's players out there that are banging in the goals, those are the players I want because this game is based on the amount of goals you score. Yeah. So, yes, it is important. Recovery runs are important. Compatibility in the air is important. There are quite a few things that are important. But at the end of the day, you've got to take a holistic view and measure everything. He says KPIs, but he hasn't told anyone what the KPIs were. All I heard him say was, some players there can shoot, some players there can head the ball, some players can run a bit faster. I didn't hear any technical reasons for the selection that reflected a KPI that he was using. And it's always been my issue every time I come here anyway. That's the problem. Whether you want to call it a KPI or a selection procedure, a selection criteria, we don't have any. And that's why basically everyone is saying, even if the player you thought should be in there isn't in there, let's just all rally together, support the team, and not talk about it.
Go ahead.
In terms of percentage, I think he's on about 60 for me because I'm missing a goal scorer, Bernard Tekpete. I'm missing Joseph Painstill. I'm missing Majid Ashamiru, and I'm also missing Jeffrey Schlupp. I'm missing those 4 players, and they come with an enormous amount of added value. Those 4 players, it can't be denied. They're all in good form, you see, and the whole thing about whatever KPI is using, the first KPI must be form, appearances and form. What do you do when you appear? What is your form? And so for me, I'd give him 60% because those 4 players are missing. And also I'd give him 60% because, you look at the strikers. He's telling us that he's carrying 2, 4, 6, 8 strikers. Now, look, we all know, and I'm not picking on anybody, we all know Jordan Ayew is no longer a striker. Yeah? We all know that. Osman Bukhari is not an out-and-out striker.
Has Jordan Ayew not improved over the period?
No.
He hasn't improved?
No, he hasn't. I mean, even Patrick Vieira is saying, yeah, great player, team player, does whatever you want him to do except score. And so he said to him, look, try and bring that in as part of your game, right? So he's not an out-and-out goal scorer. He's not an out-and-out striker. Isahaku is not a striker. Kamal Soa is not a striker. And the only strikers you've got there really is Daniel Barnier, Antoine Semenyo, and Inaki Williams. And even Inaki Williams, he's not an out-and-out striker. He plays in from the wings. It's just that he's good enough when he comes in and he scores the goals. But, I mean, look, they're midfielders.
So who you have preferred Bernard, Majid, Joseph replaced there? If his final list was 26, remember it was 25.
Well, Bernard Tekpete could have replaced Kamal Soa very easily. He could have replaced Kamaldeen Sulemana very easily. So that's very easy. Joseph Painstill, Majid Ashamiru, Jeffrey, they all fit into the midfield scheme of things. And that could have been an elongated list and the striker be a shorter list. I mean, the midfielders all have the potential of scoring, but they're not out and out. They're not somebody I'd give a number 9 shirt and say, go on strike. No, I wouldn't do that.
Can we consider that, you may have your choices. The coach also has his choices.
Right.
People may agree with the coach's choices now. In fact, somebody might score him 90% of the selection he's made. Does that make him right, or does that make you right? Or does that make him wrong or you wrong?
No, well, it's. I don't think we have to see it in black and white in that, because in a couple of days' time we're going to face Switzerland. We're going to see who's the first 11 going to go out there. Switzerland is not going to be a stroll in the park by any stretch of the imagination. Very, very, very good national team. So that match will prepare us for the lineup in the first game against Portugal. Because when you look at that, I think that you've got to play, I think we've got to play 3 at the back. Mm-hmm. We've got 3 at the back. We're looking at Jiku, Amati, Salisu. Yeah. Then we put 5 across the middle of the park. The Tariq Lampteys, the Partey,
Kofi Tre.
Yeah,
Kofi Tre.
Yeah, Kofi Tre. Then you're looking at Salis Ahmed.
Yeah.
You've got to have a tight 5 at the back, and up front. I mean, we've even got Andre in there as a midfield. I mean, how long can he last in that position?
That's not possible.
Because
it's okay for him to maybe start when Andrew starts. I think he starts with heat, but so maybe you wouldn't expect him to play 90 minutes, but he can give you a good 40 minutes or 50 minutes.
Yeah, he could, but not in that position. Not in that position. Because that position requires a lot of work. It's an up and down thing. There's a lot of work in that position. And I'm not sure. No, it's not even I'm not sure. He can't do that work. That work is not for him. Where I'd want him to expend his energy is in the final third. Because that 2-second, 3-second burst and bang, that can be the goal.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But in the middle of the park, the work that you've got to be doing in the middle of the park, covering a man, covering a space, covering a zone, it's a lot of work. And it's not that he doesn't have the experience, he does. But does he have the fitness? And I question that. Well, I watched him in the last game where he played in the middle of the park. One of the goals were down to him. He'd got back there, but he didn't have the breath to jump. He couldn't jump. because it took enough to get there. No, it's serious.
You agree?
No,
Why are you laughing?
don't be sniggering. I'm being honest. But, I mean, Thursday against Switzerland will tell us a lot of things about the character of these 26 players that have been picked and about where they have been positioned to play. It will tell us a lot, because I think if you look at the strikers, you'll start Inaki Williams. If you start Inaki Williams with Jordan Ayew, really the expectation and the burden will be on Williams to score the goals.
Yeah, certainly.
Right? That's what will happen. If you start Inaki Williams with Andre Ayew, then I think we've got 2 opportunities of scoring goals, because Andre can score goals and so can Inaki Williams. And they both are not typical number 9s.
Yeah.
They're both players that really come in from the flanks. Do you understand that? But they will be playing the traditional inside right and inside left position. Do you see what I'm
But
saying?
in that circumstance, there's a possibility that Jordan Rada will be on the wings to provide for Inaki Williams or his brother. That will be fine.
Well, it's possible.
That should be fine in this analogy.
I see better wingers there, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's certainly possible. I think the biggest test of the World Cup will be Switzerland. Because that is what's going to really fine-tune the mindset about what is coming up next. You look at the Portugal team, it's like, whoa. Let me do it this way. Whoa.
Don't start again. Come on. You're giving up already then, if you start doing this.
No, it's not. It's not.
You know why?
No, it's not about giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm just analysing as you want me to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they look rugged. They look tough.
Yeah.
They look very, very tough. You see, and so the first 2 games you're going to face are going to be against stiff competition. Switzerland, and that is not even a World Cup match. It's just a friendly, but it's going to fine-tune you, because whatever happens there is going to set the pace for the Portugal. It's either going to be a case of, we're on even keel, or it's another uphill struggle.
I know.
Just before you come in, if you're going to play against Portugal, yes, we played them at the World Cup before. But whether we like it or not, if you're going to face the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva, and all the folks from Lisbon, we are underdogs. That's one thing we have to put in our mind, that there's no way we are going to play against Portugal that we are better than them on paper in every aspect, technical-wise. Psychologically, we might win because underdogs always play the better game. But if you're going to play against Portugal, you should know that you're not better than them. When they have Cristiano Ronaldo, they have the guys. So yes, just like you're saying, playing against Geneva will be a fine test for us to see whether the gentleman that has been given the opportunity today will stand in the midst and say that we can play Portugal. And again, Otohado, with his technical staff, will have to prove to us during that friendly match on Thursday that, hey, get your final squad, whether you like it or not, because we cannot go past Thursday and tell the rest of the world that we still don't have our final 11. It's rather unfortunate that we have injuries on some key players, like you're saying. Sharp is not in the team. He could have been a fine guy in the midfield to do that. But unfortunate that Joseph Pencil is not in the fray. He could help us at the top, but they are done and dusted. We don't need to cry about Speltmek. It's gone already. On Thursday or for Friday, we shouldn't tell the rest of the world that we are still trying to experiment. It's going to be a disaster if we do that. Thursday, we should get a core team, what we'll be presenting on the 24th against Portugal. And that's what we need to know. Therefore, in planning...
Out of this 26, does it matter who we filled in the first core team?
Of course, yes.
Out of this 26.
Of course, yes. He should know by now. I mean,
I'm sure he does.
He should know.
I'm sure he does. Do we have a problem with the way he is keeping some information to himself?
Well, I think it's part of the strategy. There's nothing you can do about it. Remember that prior to the coming of Otoado, we always know information flow in, here and there. Remember that we're going to play against Nigeria. The names were not coming as to who was going to play. Some teams give out their final squad way back. Some teams are already in QATAR. We kept everything to ourselves until today. How many days? 6 days to the World Cup before naming our final squad. Though he knows it very well, he doesn't want to tell us. But this is the way it is. Everybody and his style of operating, we need to give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he can do. But believe me, like I said, on Thursday, it's not time for experimenting. We have to get our final squad. We are playing against a European team from Switzerland. They are just closer to, Portugal. Their style of play is a little bit different. But if we get the game against Switzerland very well, maybe our confidence will boot against the men from Lisbon.
That's what we need.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I really want to be in a different position by trusting and believing in Otuado's decisions.
Yeah.
I know that there's been a point where he was under pressure to actually call Sule Muntari into the Black Stars. And
Don't go there.
I will.
Not even Wakaso.
I will. And
Not-
there was
not
a
even
meeting.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Not even Wakaso.
I know. I picked information that there was a meeting he appeared in. He was questioned on why he was not actually heeding or paying
Are you
heed
sure
to
those who give him the
that-
phone are not drinking beer and wine,
Oh,
toxicated and doing? Pardon my language. It's not going to work.
No, no. No, I'm
Sule
not saying that.
Muntari-
I'm not saying that he called them, but he actually gave a technical reason why it was not possible to call people like that. And I think the way he went about it made me feel like this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I think he knows his stuff, so he's under pressure. But let's pick the voices from the GFA president, Kurt Okweku, and of course Otuado as well. After the final 26 were, revealed to us, what they said. Let's get that video.
Got anything to do with disappointment? Surely, I'm feeling sad for those who got injured, especially at the very last stage. And I feel for them. I was a player myself. I know how it is to be injured and not to be taking part. And this is a big stage, and I'm really sorry for them. That's all. I mean, it's pressure. I think pressure, first of all, is a privilege. A lot of people would like to be in my position. So I mean, the pressure's always there, but I think the pressure's more on their side because the whole world expect them to win. But I know that we can surprise them and give them something. You know that this is not the way we build a team. We build a team is first of all is trust. If I would talk about a player, how would the players who are working with me would feel? Then they will think like also the same. Like I will talk about the player, he did this bad or did this wrong or whatever. It's not good. This is not the way you build a team. We have a chance to win against every team in the world if we are a team, if we stick together, if players have trust in me and I can trust them. I see them every weekend. This is the first thing. The second thing is it was a whole process. It's not like, and it started even before. Our president was very, very, hardworking, like to get all these players. It's not like the players just drop into me. He proposed them and he was talking to them, and then at the last stage I come in. So it's a lot of hard work to convince players to come and play for Ghana, but at the end it's their decision. So and also it's a little bit complicated because surely I have to look at every player. So I have to look at players from the local league. I have to look at players from Europe who are already there, and then also we look at and it's difficult to satisfy all. I know that I will disappoint some players. This is for sure. But I think everybody tried his best to get the best squad possible. This is like what I want to tell everybody. Like you can impress me within 1, 2, 3 days. If I see that you adapt to and you show that what I want to see, and then also put in your own style, it's really brilliant. This was, let's say a player like Osman Bukari, when we played against Nigeria, before he was on standby, due to injuries, he came inside, and in the training, I was like, okay, he convinced me. I know that I can put him in. And he showed it in the game, I think, against Nigeria, and did well.
I'm more relaxed, not because the list is out, but because of the high levels of conversations around the squad and around the preparations of the squad. And like I said at the press engagement, this gives me strength because it tells me that Ghanaians are very much interested in football. Ghanaians are very much interested in our Black Stars, and Ghanaians want the Black Stars to win. And from that point of view, it's important we all stay together as a nation because this is our own. This is our Black Stars. Once this squad is out, it's imperative that all of us forget about who must be in, who must not be in, and focus on the 26 men who are very dedicated and who are ready to play out their best for Ghana. I think we are leaders, and when you're a good leader, you must learn from yesterday, so your today and your tomorrow will be good. And I think that we have learned a lot from all the campaigns of yesteryears, for which reason I think that Ghana will not be disgraced at the Mondial. Ghana is ready. The players are extremely committed towards the cause. And I believe that all of us here who have the chance to serve Ghana, beginning from today, knows very well that the image of the country is paramount. I think that it's important we give respect to the men who are leading the charges. Okay, it's important that we offer them our support. These are the men who qualified Ghana to the Mondial. They are the same men. They are not different. Okay, so if we trusted them and empowered them to deliver the World Cup ticket to us, we should also give them the same trust to carry on with the job. And I think that given the euphoria, given the energy levels of the entire country, I believe the country is behind our 10-car team. The FA is behind our 10-car team. I think as of today, they've taken all the best decisions they can under all considered circumstances. And I think that it's paramount that we...
Right, the coach, the GFA president, and of course the coach Otu Addo of the Black Stars. So that's about it. Geoffrey Schnops, why has he been so controversial?
Well, I mean, the coach hasn't told us. All he said is, well, I've spoken to the players so they know, but I don't think that's good enough. You see, Schlupp has to be measured against the criteria. And if he doesn't meet up to that criteria, then you can tell everybody he didn't meet up to the criteria.
He's been measured against the KPI he has.
But what is it? Schlupp can shoot, he can header, he can run with the ball, he can dribble with the ball, he can do all those things.
But you're saying that by what you see. He also is seeing it from a different angle.
I don't know what angle he's looking at it from. I don't know. But I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing the full picture. I'm not seeing a part or a piece of the picture.
Is that to say that Otto is not seeing the full picture?
Well, if you push me to the wall on that, yes, I would say that. He's not seeing the full picture because, he said, for example, or he has been reported as saying that, Painstill didn't come for the Korean Cup. And that's where he wanted to see Painstill. So because of that, I can't include you. But that's not a criteria. It's not a criteria. Painstill at that time wanted to focus on pre-season. Nothing wrong with that. If someone's in your plans, he's in your plans. Okay, he can't come for the Korean Cup, which was a Mickey Mouse Cup anyway.
Really?
No, of course it Please. Come on. Please. The Korean Cup. I hadn't heard of it before. You heard of it before? I hadn't heard of it before. But, we can analyse all day long. As I said, we're going to play a country that is 45 places above us, and that's Switzerland. And you don't hear a lot about Switzerland. People don't talk about Switzerland national team, but they're 15th in the world. So that means they can play some very good football. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be easy. And that is where his KPIs are going to now come into the light. Because now we're going to see what the boys can do together. And one of my main concerns is, I'm very sorry for Wallacott for missing out.
Yeah.
But look, out of these three keepers, who has really played with these boys before? At any time? Manaf, Ziggy. Yeah. Who's been playing with these boys? It's been Wallacott.
Yeah.
So in terms of even how the coach will set up his stall, we now have a situation where the team now has to start communicating with these goalkeepers. They haven't been communicating with them before. They don't know what the goalkeeper likes. The goalkeeper doesn't know what they like. A quick roll of the ball out to the edge of the 18-yard box to build up play from there. Even the distribution, we don't know what their distribution is like. Can they take the ball in their hand and distribute the ball 70 yards and pop it on, drop it on the end of somebody's boot just over the halfway line? We don't know. So this is something there also is a new thing that they'll all have to learn when they play Switzerland, because none of them have communicated before. It's going to be the first, really. Yeah. Because every time we've played, it's been Wallacott.
Yeah.
And that's an issue. That can be an issue at corners, at defending free kicks, even just from open play. That can be an issue. Because where, the back three or the back four would position themselves, how will that complement Ziggy or Manaf or Danlad in how they position themselves in the 18-yard box? You know, would Danlad prefer that someone's there just providing a cover tight on the near post, as well as having somebody tight on the far post, or is he okay with them just zonal marking? Or nobody knows. Nobody knows, and they've got to get over that hurdle of just being able to communicate. This is what I like. I don't like this. I need you to be here. I need you to be there. You know, I'm open for back passes, but play the back passes away from the goal. You know, I mean, nobody knows.
Phil,
Yeah.
same.
Well, just like I said
No.
in initial comment, I just said that it's not unfortunate that goalkeeping department issue, because whether we like it or not, these three gentlemen are never the number one choice until last Friday when Walakov got himself in an injury situation. But this is what we have for now. Like I said, we don't need to cry over spells. It happened already. Let's move forward. Yes, the Jeffrey Schlupp issue is not unfortunate that he's not going to the World Cup. But I remember the last time he wanted to go to the World Cup it's not unfortunate. The same thing happened to me. He couldn't represent Ghana. This is the gentleman who has been very, very committed until the few games that he didn't turn up because he wanted a position in Crystal Palace and he didn't show up. But this is a gentleman who has played good football, making the season even more than Jordan Ayew. I'm not trying to do comparison, but he plays the same team with the gentleman. He plays several roles in midfield and defensive, and it's very, very good. So if you tell me that Jeffrey Schlupp does not have a space in there, that's not unfortunate. That's why Nana was talking about the KPIs. What criteria did we use that we didn't find Jeffrey Schlupp in this setup? Like I said,
How has been the criteria of previous coaches before O2? Did they even talk about KPIs? Did they mention any KPIs?
No. I mean,
no, the issue that you're supposed to tell us. I mean, what we try to do in football administration, we copy almost everything from the English people. Believe me, if Gary Sargis sits here, assuming yesterday he wanted to name the English national team, I can give you A to Z what he's going to call, because everybody knows who is doing very well.
Yeah.
You don't need to come and tell me that it's not Pickford and that is Forrest. It's not possible. We all know it. Just that you are the technical head. Yes, you are the final say. It's the same thing. So far as we are copying them technically, administrative-wise in football, journalistic-wise in football, we should be able to ask the questions and know some of these things.
And I tell you what, the only problem in that England team is Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
But the way the man's addressed the whole issue, because he himself has acknowledged that, Maguire's been sitting on the bench,
Yeah.
because Maguire's a captain of
Yeah.
Man U, but
Yeah.
he's been sitting on the bench lately.
Yeah.
He's only played about 4 or 5 games, this and that. But he's turned around to say, well, the reason why I'm calling Harry is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Justification, that's the issue.
We're good to go with
Yeah.
that. We're good to go with that.
Yeah.
But if you tell me about an imaginary KPI of which you just which you're just saying, oh, he can shoot, he can head, he can jump, he can skip, you're not telling me anything.
That is basically elementary, and
to
that's
be
it.
perfectly honest.
Okay, so back to the
Did you
Jeffrey
say
Schlupp.
it's elementary?
Oh, come on. You
Well,
know,
it's,
you
it's
said that's
scout
the case.
language,
Of course,
to be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Be honest
You
with
said that's the case to
that's
keep
a
them given away. Like you tell your.
It's
your
not elementary for him to say, I'm using the KPI. It's probably not enough information because he has not given you the details of the KPI. So it becomes imaginary, as you're saying. You can only assume, okay, what's this KPI all about? You probably have to go and check the stats.
Manny, the so-called KPI we're talking about, we're not giving to us. That's the issue.
Yeah, there's no
We're not giving to
KPI,
us.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
listen
that's
to
what
the.
I'm saying.
We're
That
not
you
giving to
probably
us.
have to check the stats of the players, and then you can imagine your own KPIs.
And that's why there's so much discussion about it, because we all do check the stats of
Yeah.
these players.
Yeah.
We check it every single time. And so we're quite clear on who has earned the place
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
who hasn't earned
Yeah.
the place. If you told me, oh, one of the players boozes after matches and that's the reason why he doesn't get a spot, yet when he plays, he's fantastic,
Yeah.
you ain't telling me anything,
But that's
because
not that.
that player needs to be in my squad.
No, that's no excuse. I remember some of the Brazilian national players. Come on, excuse my language. I'm not supposed to say that. They go to the nightclubs prior to matches, but when they bring on the field, they deliver. Your job, yes, you're not supposed to manage what they do off the field. What you're supposed to do that when within your fray is to ensure that they get the job done on the field. Yes, when you go to tournament, you try to restrict them because that is when you have to get their full attention. But not when they are not within your domain. You don't have to say anything about them. So whether he decides to go to nightclubs and play football at the club, that's not your business. If he can do the job for you very well during your time, you take advantage. Psychologically, work on his thing. He will come back home and do the job for you. But that's not it.
I just like Otuado, I'm under pressure to take a breather. Let's go for a break. All right, welcome back. So we are looking at the final 26 lists that's come out for our Black Stars to make us proud in the World Cup, QATAR 2022. Let's see how it's going to go. So what I think the last few minutes we have, let's look at expectations with the game with the Senegal. I don't know what your first 11 core team would be like. Let me start with you, Phil.
Well, just like we were saying, let's look at what happened on Thursday first, because it will determine as to who will represent Ghana, especially in the goalkeeping department. Whether it's supposed to be Lawrence Atikigi, who has been with the team, he's tasted some matches under the new blaster before. He made some blunders before, but for what I'm seeing, he's between himself and Manav that's supposed to be in the goalkeeping department. Yes. All in all, on Thursday, I expect the lives of the professor, that is then his old way to be in the fray. Tariq Lamte will be in the fray. Amate will be in the fray. Not Salisu, because whether I like or not, Salisu will start, Amate will start. So let's give fresh boys who are likely to give competition to these guys for the first game against Portugal. All in all, we have to try and also to solve the midfield, because believe me, football games are won in the midfield, whether you like it or not. It's just simple. Football games, people don't know. They are won in the midfield. If your midfield is not strong, there's a possibility that the pressure will mount on you.
Do you have a problem more with the midfield or the strikers?
I think the midfielders that we have over here, we have to intertwine with some of the defenders to come and augment them, because with the exception of Thomas Partey, who will be very rugged, you don't expect Kudus Mohamed to be very rugged. He's a forward type goal. You hold the ball, forward type. And then the day you is not too strong to fight that battle that we are supposed to see at QATAR. He will give some inspiration on the field. You don't expect him to play full 90 minutes with the same vigor. It's not going to help. So we have to try as much as possible to strengthen our midfield, especially the likes of Juku need to come forward to come and help. Amate had to come forward and help. But if they leave their sole responsibility of midfield to Partey, and he will be laughing at the wrong side of our mouth, especially against Portugal, because Cristiano Ronaldo, who is fading out after this World Cup, would like to prove a point in the first game.
I mean, I get the point of goal scoring. I'm looking at Andrew, and I'm still having, thoughts in my mind that Andrew is a very necessary player on this list. I mean, Andre.
Yeah.
I think he's a very necessary player on this list because
Andre
seems to come with a certain drive, a certain spirit, team player, and really seem to be one of the old faces that we have in the team now. So it's quite necessary with the factor he brings on board.
Yeah, certainly. And though he's finding himself within this list as a midfielder, believe me, he would like to push forward most of the time to play with the strikers. That's what he's going to do. If he comes into the midfield to come and do the battle, we'll lose terribly. So definitely, he has to position himself close 80% up front than coming to the middle. Because the boys, this kind of game that is going to play in QATAR, we don't need his strength to be in the middle. And that's the only thing I'm happy about. And even if he decides to start, or the coach decides to start him, he has to supply the balls quicker to Inaki to bang in the goals or the likes of Antoine. If he decides to hold the old type of football that he plays, that hold on the ball very well, decide to hold on, which Kudus expect to do, will be laughing on the wrong side of the match. So that's the situation of Andre, but he has to be in our setup for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Team spirit, he has it. Leadership-wise, he has it. Again, too, he has been to the World Cup twice before. He knows how to be at the Mondial.
Right,
So there are 7 factors.
Well, for me, I've left the goalkeeping vacant at the moment. Probably it would be this boy, Atizigi.
Yeah, between him and Manafudo.
Yeah, But I would go with Amati, Jiku, and Salisu at the back.
Yeah.
Then Lamptey, Tre, Amati, Ayu, Mensah, and then Semenyo and Williams. As
You want to
strikers
say
up front.
Semenyo, rather?
Antoine Semenyo, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's an out-and-out striker.
Yeah, I do.
He's an out-and-out striker. That's would be my first 11. Knowing very well that I would change Andre at half-time, I'd probably change Semenyo at half-time as well, depending on what he's done.
Exactly. I was going to say depending.
Yeah, depending on what he's done. And bringing someone like the Kudos boy or Osman, because they're both down as strikers, Bukhari. You know, Osman is very, very quick, but he's very quick from the middle of the park. You just see the goals he scores.
But don't be surprised with Sawaku. Don't be surprised if Sawaku starts after second half, because he's got certain drives. He's young, not even 20 years. And there's a possibility that he also he has that link with Kudus. And that could also be a different option.
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
But that's what I would do, because I don't think we've seen enough of Semenyo.
Yeah.
And this is a friendly. And we need to breeze him out. We need to outdoor him. What can you do? There's 45 minutes against the 15th top team in the world. Do something. Show me something. You know.
When you say 15th for the world, remember the last time Switzerland played a football game, they beat Germany. So that's a strong team we're going to play.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
They're very strong.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a 5-3-2 is the way to go, because every other midfield from the teams that we're going to play is stronger than us.
Yeah.
Portuguese, the Uruguayans, even Song's old team.
Yeah.
They're quicker than us.
Yeah.
You know, even if they don't have the experience and stuff like that, they're very, very quick.
Yeah.
They don't dilly-dally on the ball. They move very quickly. So I give all of them, their midfield is above our midfield.
Well, okay, so I have a number of messages. But you know what the two of you have done? You know, even though you don't agree with the list here, especially with the midfielders and strikers, you are working with the team.
Yeah, of course. That's what we have to do.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. You see, he's got it. This is the key to it all. You've picked your team. Now, how do you combine them? How do you get them to play together effectively as a team? This is where the coaching is going to come into it. It's not when the game is going on, you're standing on the line, you're pointing here and shouting here and blah. Yeah. That's not the coaching. The coaching is going to be done between Wednesday, because nothing's going to happen today, nothing's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the game is on Monday. So that's when the coaching, that's when the blending has to be done.
Yeah.
You see?
Right.
During that
I like the
period.
word blending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Annie, good afternoon. Over 30 million Ghanaian coaches will access the team after Switzerland games, so your panelists should hold their horses from Alhaji, Harun and Shaiman. I think the coach has done his part. It's up to the players to kill themselves for Ghana. We shall support them. I hope so. We shall support them with prayers. Madam Host, you're looking good this afternoon. Thank you, Peter from Teshin. This one says that if Almighty permits, my dream will come to pass. Ghana is going to take the 2022 FIFA World Cup Qatar. At Qatar or in Qatar, you may. Even though Ghana gets red card in the final match, we're going to win, inshallah. Otuado should prepare our Black Stars and well fit to bring victory to our nation. We hope to see him, to see the head of the Black Stars to compromise. Hey, what have you written? For Ghana, okay. Good afternoon, Metro TV. Annie, please, I like your lady on the sports station now.
Like your what?
Say that again.
He says, good afternoon, Metro TV, please. I like your lady on the sports station now.
What lady?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
I'm the sports lady. Kofi Ghana is going to bring the cup home. Ghana can do better. Let's pray for them. I just want to say that Ghanaians should remove politics from the football. Please, there's politics everywhere. Sometimes when we say politics, people don't understand.
Yeah.
Politics is everything. Everything.
Yeah.
In school, at home,
Yeah.
kitchen, everywhere you have debates, it's politics.
Even in the bedroom, there's politics over
Exactly.
there.
It's politics. Except that what you were trying to say is partisanship. Okay, so let's try to separate that. So it says, I just want to say that Ghanaians should remove politics from football and let the players go for win for the country to prosper. We need them to respect each other and work with the team so that we shall see victory. Texting from Northern Region. Thank you. You didn't add your name. This one says, I think Otuado should leave Geoffrey and Afena out of this final list. It's a great mistake. Okay, for him to have left him is a great mistake, you want to say. I am Adam from Spintex. So the snake coach of Ghana couldn't explain the exclusion of Painstill and Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Nipanyo, you say. Okay, I think we're ready for the World Cup, but I think our youth have a player for Ghana, have been playing for Ghana for so long, and there's nothing really special about them. Okay, that's your opinion. I have many, but I think I have to break here. 30 seconds each. Nana.
Well, I hope we don't suffer because of the exclusion of Painstill and Schlapp, to be perfectly honest with you. I really hope we don't suffer. I want to see good performances. I've not had any of those dreams that tell me that Ghana is going to win the World Cup, and I'm not going to have any of those dreams. I'm not expecting us to win the World Cup. I don't believe that we can. But that's not to say that we can't do well. So, I'm not going to pray for them. I want them to do well. But,
That's a prayer. Just unless you don't know what a prayer is, but that's a prayer.
Well, you can school me on that if you like.
Phil?
Well, finally, we have the men that will representing us, whether we like it or not. Like I said, no need to cry over spilled milk. They will represent us.
Phil, there's no spilled milk here.
Yes, we don't need to cry over it. They've been named already. Let's pray for them, like you also say. Even if you don't pray, like somebody I know, try as much as possible to say, keep your fingers crossed, hoping that when we get to Qatar, we'll do something. But should we win the World Cup, which I don't think so, because that will be the 8th wonder of the world, we should do very well to progress. And I think at the end of the day, our Ghana, with all our problems, we can smile a little bit.
We need to smile. The
Aye.
pressure is too much. but take it easy, okay? Take it easy on yourselves. I mean, it's an important message I have to add to finalize this program. Take it easy on yourself, all right? Don't want to
And
do...
just before you go, I will sorry, wait, we should lower our expectations. It's not, that's
Exactly.
what we have to do.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that
We have to
people
lower
used
expectations.
to do
Yeah, no, come on.
luxuriously,
Yeah.
okay? Reduce it.
Yeah.
You reduce it. I can understand that the government has to do something. I'm sure they're trying to work out something. Yeah.
Minister of Communication and Information. Man.
Yeah, just reduce the pressure, relax more. Don't do too much expensive stuff, and you take it like very easy. This Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Ania Frompo. Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Phil. We will be watching the Black Stars on Thursday. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, and we'll bring you the details as well. Thanks for watching.